Hey YouTube, we're gonna jump right into it with the reading today. We have a full moon coming up, full moon in Libra. Definitely get a sense that there is going to be assessment of one's emotional feelings and how they cope or validate that with their actions. For a lot of individuals, there is a reevaluation of one's wants, one's needs, one's emotional collateral. I feel like this time of introspection and this conviction of what it is that you deem as being yours and your wants is going to lead you to kind of a new road of you being able to kind of decipher what it is and start making some decisions quickly. There is a sense of indecisiveness, but that a lot of that times that comes from not knowing what one wants exactly. Allow yourself to just tap in. For the people that I'm reading for, I feel like sometimes you need to practice a level of patience. Temperance card. Level of patience when it comes to the things that you're trying to actualize and bring into fruition. But Four of Cups definitely gives sulking energy. Within your patience, utilize that transmutation of stillness and rest for progression towards what it is that you're striving for. Whether that is putting yourself in a mental stasis of being able to push through, whether a conversation needs to be had, an interview needs to be had, a meeting of someone needs to be had. The World card, I think for a lot of you guys, there is kind of a kind of anxiousness of transitioning into a new format of one's life expression. And if you're taking the time to rest and really get yourself in a mental and physical mindset of being able to actualize this, do so authentically and not a paraphrase in one's head. You can't fake your progression. You can't fake your growth. You either are going to do the work or you can spend your lifetime looking like you're doing the work. But in doing so, what you're doing is cheating yourself from a experience that is authenticity. What it is that you authentically want. Five of Wands. It's not a time to get into petty like squabbles with persons or getting into little arguments with people to try to contextualize what it is you're wanting to do or reasoning behind what it is you're like striving to become. I think a lot of the times when one gets an epiphany, for a lot of you guys, it's kind of like a quick, this is what I need to do, and kind of transitioning into that for some of you. A lot of quick, like fast transitions of clarity, getting a sense of clarity and utilizing that clarity to propel you towards the actions that are needed for that clarity to be induced into actuality. All right, I'm gonna pull my black deck and see what else is going on. I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of over the mental anguish that is, and kind of getting to a point now where it's really surrendering to the is that is, and giving yourself the opportunity to rise and grow from that. Seven of Cups, again, it's really a reevaluation of the things that you want, the ambitions that you're striving for, and really getting an authentic gauge as to what it is that you want outside of the needs for others. Now is not the time to trying to find new means to juggle things that you've been juggling. You were juggling because you were trying to anticipate or trying to make a decision. Now that all the context and information has been given, it's just really deciding whether or not you're going to make the decision towards your freedom, Four of Wands, towards the accomplishment of the work that one has done within the shadows, that shadow work. Are you applying those aspects of realization towards your life goals and like your perceptions on things when it comes to actualizing them? Ten of Cups. I think for a lot of you guys are just trying to find that emotional fulfillment out there, and that takes work. And work in the sense of action. Action is work. Sun card. Action is work, y'all. Action is work. It's like going towards the things that you're wanting to actualize. But Temperance, again, just be patient. Just be patient. Your route towards this should be one of moral integrity. Do not fake the funk when it comes to this emotional and spiritual evolution that Spirit has you going through. It's a disservice to yourself. This full moon is revealing a lot of aspects It's a Venetian moon, meaning that the sign that it's under is ruled by Venus. So it's a Venus attributed moon cycle, meaning things that we find value in, things that we find appealing, the things we find beautiful, the things that stimulate our kind of senses that make us find it appealing. And it being Libra, Libra's ruling planet is Venus, as I stated, and its aspect towards Venus gives a sense of mental, things that are mentally stimulating, things that we find value. Value is all about perception. Perception is all about how we feel and think about things. That's the side of Venus that attributes to the beauty. Taurus side of Venus ruled sign is more the physicality, the experience of the value. This perfume is valuable because I think it is, and the Taurus side of that energy is smelling it, spraying it, feeling it, the experience of it. That is the more earthly aspect of Venus. I think for a lot of you, it's just really time to let go of the baggage. There's a lot of baggage here. That's so crazy. We have the 10 of coins, and then we have the 10 of wands. What are we choosing? Are we choosing tangible, physical abundance, or are we going to keep holding the curtain on a stage and show that really isn't tangible, but more or less a trailer to the actual life experience? Are you going to be the movie, or are you going to be the life based on the movie? And that just depends on the person. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just depending on knowing yourself and knowing what you authentically want. But out of these kind of perceptions, it's one is one of baggage and the other is one of tangible fulfillment when it comes to finances, when it comes to living. These 10 of Pentacles speaks of physical, earthly abundance, money, housing, relationship, tangible things. There's going to be a mode of celebration for a lot of you guys. Or maybe some of you guys are finding out some really good news about pregnancy, maybe catching up with old friends. I definitely do see that 10 of Cups there. Sense of nostalgia in the mix for sure. I think for a lot of you, you're just be present with the things that are kind of rendering as we speak for you. I feel for a lot of you, you may be getting invitations to gatherings or getting called for advice or hearing from people that you haven't heard from in a while. Take those invitations, practice discernment, but also don't close yourself off to it. Don't let your circumstances of the past morph and change your personality where it's not reflective to what you feel like you embody within yourself. I'm gonna read this in verse. It's the 9 of Swords. I feel like a lot of you guys are getting the clarity that's needed when it comes to understanding what this energy is, where you're wanting to put it towards, and where you're taking it. 2 of Coins. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this reading is very heavily financial based, finance based. Your idea of money, your view of money. This is like wanting tangible formats of being able to keep your revenue stream consistent for a lot of you. There comes a point in time when one has to let go of what they believe is the right way and allow yourself to really experience a new road not traveled yet. 4 of Coins speaks on foundational physicality. It's really taking into account one's financial literacy and financial value and seeing what that means for them. I mean, if it's conducive to what it is they're trying to render into their life. April is going to be a very deep month for a lot of persons. And it's a month of clarity, which makes sense. Leading into Taurus, Lover's card, like leading into Taurus season, we're leading into like a reassessment of value, and then Taurus being that implementation sign, implementing the actions that we start representing the things that represent our moral fiber or our value system, our ideologies. And sometimes it takes people time to really find a love for themselves to be able to deduce that or understand that. Justice card for a lot of you guys is just really sitting in your karma And karma isn't a bad or good thing, it's just an is thing. What's been given out is what's being received as of now. And any energy, whether perceived good or bad, can be transmuted into the opposite. So it's really taking the time and introspection to really see that. Seeing your part in certain circumstances, and then finding a means to balance the scales of the circumstances so that you see your right and wrong and you see their right and wrong. Whether that be a job, whether that be, a family situation, whether that be a relationship situation, whether that be a dynamic of friendship. All of these things correlate to perceptions and reciprocal energies. Karma is something that it's not anything personal, it just is what it is. And that's karma, literally. I feel like use the clarity given from the perceived heartbreak and transmute that into a lesson, which that lesson can be utilized to steer you towards the objective that person's circumstances or experiences may have been an obstacle in front of. Just so that when that energy or obstacle represents itself again in future timelines, you're able to navigate around it so that you're not stuck in a loop that shortens shortens or lengthens your trip towards what it is that you're trying to experience. Nurture yourself and really find the strength to complete what it is that you're trying to do. 8 of coins. A lot of you guys are worrying about things that you don't need to be worrying about. You have other things you need to be worrying about, like what you're trying to actualize. And juggling a lot of things that you don't need to be juggling. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this reading. Pull. Yo, my ADHD, y'all, with my cards, but spirit be spiriting. Let's see. 4 of coins again. Value reassessment. 5 of pentacles, or 5 of coins. A reassessment of past situations, but not going over the past of what ifs, but more or less seeing what can be done for future iterations. Because you can go over all the what is possible for circumstances that have already transpired, but you can't go back and change it. So you might as well just kind of like utilize what you would have done for future endeavors, and in doing so, takes action towards those future endeavors so that you have the opportunity to prove it. You would have done different, prove it. Prove it. Prove it. You get me? Prove it. One more card. Whatever it is you guys are working on, you need to finish it. Finish. Find and muster the strength. Yes, you're feeling depressed. Yes, you're feeling some kind of way, but these are waves. These are feelings and emotions of waves. Try to ride the wave by additionally understanding that this is just a part of a bigger picture, and eventually the buffering of this experience that is depression is going to buffer out, and you're going to be at the fully rendered experience, and you want to make sure that you've set the foundations needed so that that rendered experience can be incubated and consistent within your experience. You guys take care. Peace.